This video is about updates relating to the CIPP US privacy certification, updates to the body of knowledge, a new addition to the coursebook or principal text, my online courses and my resources. My name's John Bandler, and here's the takeaways up front. Don't stress too much about the updates. My experience over the last 6 years is the changes are pretty small. So you want to first master the basics, which don't change by much. Prioritize on those basics, and my online courses cover those basics. That said, there have been changes, and I've got lots of information on updates. I refreshed one online course just now. That was a lot of work. I'm going to now work on the other, and I have built out a ton of resources and put them on my website. My most up-to-date materials will be on my website. I'll give you the link to the main landing page. It's this QR code. Let's just walk through this graphic real quick. Corresponds to my website with parts, and it walks through the body of knowledge. It's bookended on each side as well. This QR code goes to the CIPP US landing page on my website at johnbandler.com. It looks like this, and if you scroll down a little, there's links to the 7 CIPP US parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an updates part. And we're really talking about the updates in this video. And I know that as soon as I record a video, things might happen, and it might be good to be able to provide an update, and that webpage will help. Updates occur from time to time in all areas of life because things evolve and change, and that includes law, that includes privacy law and cybersecurity law, it includes government, and especially government lately, and we'll talk about that in a second. The CIPP US body of knowledge evolves. They put out updates periodically. I've been following them over the last 6 years. The coursebook, a new edition, comes out every couple years, and my materials are updated from time to time. On my website, I have a frequently asked question page relating to my CIPP US course. Some of those are relevant for this video. One of the questions is, does your course cover the new CIPP US body of knowledge? Or they'll ask, your course was created X months ago or X years ago. Does it incorporate the changes to the body of knowledge since then? Or sometimes they'll say, hey, your course is X months old. It's obsolete now, right? Or they'll ask about a web page or handout. It's X months old or X years old. Is it obsolete now? And that ties into other questions people ask too. Does your course cover everything I need to know to prepare for the CIPP US test? Or is your course all I need to pass the CIPP US exam? Now, I've got fuller answers to these on my website, but let me start with the last one. The only person who knows what you need to pass the CIPP US exam is you, because every person's different. Every person's starting from a different place. Next question up. Does your course cover everything I need to know? My video courses cannot cover everything. That would be impossible. The body of knowledge is enormous. It's 100 miles wide and an inch deep. If I were to cover everything in the body of knowledge to excruciating detail, you'd be listening to my course for 100 hours or more. So my courses cover the priority basics. I give you the priority things I think people need to know, then the rest is up to you. Now, because of that, because my courses cover the priority basics, they don't become obsolete within months or even within years. So as I record this now, I have just updated one of my courses. It is totally up to date, but I know in a month, in a year, in 2 years, it's still going to be really good. As I record this now, my Udemy course is about 3 years old, and it's got a more recent update, and I've updated my handouts, but the bulk of it, the priority basics, is still really good. That said, my next project is to update my Udemy course. So the takeaway here is even as time goes by, my courses are still going to cover the priority basics, and those are probably not going to change much. And here's those basic takeaways. The basic principles of law, privacy, and privacy law within those CIPP US domains and that body of knowledge are relatively unchanged over the years. Update is a relative term. It depends on where you started. So let's talk chronology. So let's go back to 2020 when the third edition of the course book came out. And consider that this publication date is 2020, but a lot goes into a book to write it, edit it, and publish it. So by the time that book is published, the author's words might be 6 to 12 months old. I built my first CIPP US online course in 2021 that was geared for information security professionals. There have been updates to the body of knowledge over the years, which I follow. I built my CIPP US online course for Udemy in 2023 that I geared for lawyers and law students, but I will say that lots of others are taking it too and finding it useful. There have been more updates to the body of knowledge. I'll do an update video occasionally for the course, and I'll update my handouts. 2024, they come out with the fourth edition of the course book. I'll talk about that. January 2025, a new president takes office, a new executive branch, and there's been a lot of changes since then, continuing up to the day of this video, and I'm sure will continue after this video. Effective September 2025, we add an updated body of knowledge. I just completed a complete redo of one of my CIPP US online courses. That's for information security professionals. In the near future, I hope to redo my Udemy course. I hope to get that done in the next couple months. And you are watching this video here on, what's the date? Sometime after I'm recording this. Feel free to mention it in the comments. So I'll talk through updates in the body of knowledge, course book, current events, my online courses, and my handouts or web pages. Let's talk updates to the body of knowledge, and the substance remains very similar. And obviously, there's been developments in privacy and privacy law. There's been a lot of cosmetic changes recently to the body of knowledge. It looks very different. It even reads very different, but the substance remains similar. One good thing is the body of knowledge now includes the exam blueprint within it. That is a nice time saver. And by that, it means you now know within that body of knowledge how many questions will be asked on which topics. That used to be a separate document. The body of knowledge now has many more words, and that might intimidate some people, but it shouldn't. It's less of an outline format. There is increased emphasis on understanding the material, not just memorizing or regurgitating. They want you to understand because you're going to be a privacy professional, not an AI chatbot. You're going to be a professional. And the good thing is my courses already emphasized understanding, and they repeat this understand over and over. And they talk about Bloom's taxonomy, and they have a diagram of it. Here it is. I marked it up a little. They emphasize this understand. And I also like a concept of scaffolding, where you're kind of starting at the bottom with lower levels of learning and you're working up. And understand is higher than just memorizing. And they changed one of the domain names. And it was a good change to the name, but they didn't really change the underlying material. This was the old body of knowledge outline format, bullet point. In fact, not even bullet point because it's just words. It's just nouns. It's not even a bullet point. I like a good outline. Now, I had some constructive criticism of this outline. Like I didn't like how they go from a capital letter to a lowercase letter. Normally you go from a letter to a number back to a letter and so forth. The outline method I actually prefer is this hierarchical where you go 1, 2. If you have subtopics, it's 2.1, 2.2, and so forth. But that's just me, my personal preference. You'll see it in my work. But the takeaway is they went from this bullet point or noun outline and they went to full sentences and sometimes full paragraphs, which basically means more words. And we're not afraid of words, but it is more to read. So the current CIPP US body of knowledge, and let's put current in quotes because I don't know when you're watching this. There's the approval and effective dates and the version number. And here's their body of knowledge, and I annotate it in red. They got away from the outline, I think a little much because I ended up annotating numbers for these subtopics. We've got full paragraphs, full sentences, and emphasis on understand. And here we have the number of questions right there. That's helpful. and there's nice color. It's pleasing to the eye. It is a lot more words, though. Now let's talk future body of knowledge updates. I cannot predict the future. I'm sorry. But I do know about the past 6 years, and the changes were relatively minor. The 4th edition of the book has changes from the 3rd. Still relatively minor. We'll talk about the book in the 2nd. Remember, it's a huge body of knowledge. It's miles wide, so you cannot go miles deep. You can only go inches deep. And you want to focus on the priority things first, those things that are highly tested, and the basics. You want to learn the basics of privacy and privacy law. Again, my courses are never designed to cover 100% of all testable material. That would be long and painful. I don't spend time trying to get you to memorize what the fine amount would be per violation. That's just painful to me. I want you to understand the concepts. My courses cover the priority items, and most of that is really unchanged by the updates. Now let's talk about book changes from the 3rd edition to the 4th edition, and some takeaways are it's still a good book. It's better. It's better organized. It's more current. It is still expensive, and it's still the principal text for CIPP US. One very noticeable change is the size changed, and now it is my favorite book size. So I'm going to digress a little. Let me show you the 4th edition here on the left, 3rd edition on the right, and that's kind of a side angle, but you can see it is less wide now, and I like it. Now it's my favorite size. It's about an inch less width. And see how it stacks up with my favorite book, or one of my favorite books, my cyber law book. Now it's the exact same size as my cyber law book. So that's why it's now my favorite book size, and it's now a 9x6. Again, it's still a good book as it was before. It's even better now. It's written simply and plainly. It's organized well. I think it's organized better than before. Last edition, they had a separate chapter on California. It was kind of like an add-on. Now things are integrated throughout. It still has endnotes, not footnotes. I think a lot of readers prefer the endnotes. For me, where I like to see the source, I prefer footnotes. So where I write a book, I do footnotes. I know why they did endnotes. It's at the end of each chapter. I think you'll be fine, especially because you have my web references if you need to find actual sources. It was published in 2024. That means it does not cover things after that, including 2025 and after. And that's not a criticism of the book. That's a fact of life for any book. And that is also why your understanding of concepts is important. You being a professional is important because you need to be able to evaluate new information, new events, current events, and put that in the context of knowledge you already have. It's still expensive, and that's not a criticism either. The authors are experts in the field. They've put a lot of expertise and time into it. The publication process, the editing, all of that costs money. You can't get things for free, but it is an expensive book, and I still recommend it, and I acknowledge how much it helped me with my courses for my research. I read the 3rd edition, every word of it. I read the 4th edition, every word of it. So I appreciate this book and the work they put into it. As you think about updates, remember, don't stress about the little things. Focus on your learning. Focus on your understanding. Don't overly stress about recent changes. Don't bother speculating about what changes are on the test, which are not, how updated the test is. Just assume the test will be fair. Assume the IAP updates the test appropriately. I've got other videos and materials on test taking and the CIPP US certification. No test is perfect. Tests have experimental questions. Don't stress the small stuff. Just do your honest best. Learn, understand, be a privacy professional. Now let's talk for a minute about current events, because the biggest changes I have seen in my life have occurred since January of 2025. That adds uncertainty, but as before, don't let it stress you out with your study and with the exam preparation, but do be aware of it. These changes are obviously not reflected in the course book because that was published before. It's not reflected in the current body of knowledge and may not be reflected in future ones. But the fact of the matter is we have a new federal executive branch, a new federal government doing things with. There are many changes in how the federal government is approaching many things. There have been a lot of cuts to a lot of agencies. They're not doing the privacy enforcement they might have been doing. There's different priorities on who they are enforcing things against. There's talk of eliminating some federal departments or agencies. In anti-discrimination, they have a new view on what type of human needs protection from discrimination. There are many things unresolved and pending. As I updated one course, there are a lot of laws that are in limbo. It seems like some laws are not being followed by the executive branch. We cover a law on protections for journalists. It seems like the government ignored that. I cover the Fourth Amendment in my course. I've seen tweets from the federal executive branch that misstate the Fourth Amendment, and things are moving fast. So of all the changes I can't believe are happening in the last months and weeks, I don't know what will happen in the future. All this means we need to first understand the underlying concepts and basics. That hasn't changed. And we need to stay updated on what's happening. If we're a citizen of this country or a resident, or if we are or want to be a privacy professional, we need to stay updated, including with reliable information, engaging our brain, and that we understand law and apply that law, facts, and logic to try to understand or analyze what's happening. After I record a course, how do you update yourself? Well, look for an update video because occasionally I might do a standalone video that I add on to it to update, or I might replace one of those videos with an updated one. You look to the handout because it's easier for me to update a handout than to update the entire course. And the new thing I did is see my website because that's the easiest for me to update and the easiest for you to find. We've got that main jump-off page with the links to all the parts, and then I've got pages for each of those parts, and I can update those pages, and then I've got that update page as well. You can see my YouTube videos because I could put out an update video to YouTube. I can't promise I will, but if enough people encourage me, I might do it. You can always ask me a question or make a comment and I can respond that way. And of course, do your own research and you can start where I left off. And I can't promise to keep all my handouts and pages and courses updated, but that's why you are an engaged privacy professional and you will have the ability and skills to do your own research. Next steps to learn privacy or CIPP US, and privacy is important for all and you can learn some. You want to keep on top of new developments, but you want to have that foundation of knowledge. You can see my web pages. You can visit my site for free resources, no registration required. See my CIPP US course on Udemy. Get a good deal for it. See my coupon code. They advertise like it's priced at $60 or more, but you should not pay more than $20 for it. 13 with a coupon code. Do your own research. Use my materials to jumpstart your research. It's going to take honest effort and study. There's no magic shortcuts, and you've got this. My courses, and if you have a subscription for InfoSec Skills, access my course there. But if you don't have a subscription there, check out my Udemy course. It is a good deal. Remember to check for coupon codes. And that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Check the video description for fuller resources and references. And remember, you know yourself. You are in charge of your own study. Don't look for those magic shortcuts. Put in honest effort. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.